Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, and I think it's not even quite 8 o'clock yet. I just woke up, and my plan is to get as much possible eBay work done today as I can. So I have been getting some work done recently, but I haven't filmed anything since Wednesday, and it's Sunday now. So I'm going to quickly show you all of Thursday's sales and a few things from Friday that got packed up and shipped out already that I didn't bother filming. And then I will I have one big complicated package to make today. So I'm going to get that done right off the bat. And then this is going to end up being a pretty long video because I'm just going to film everything that I'm doing today. So it's probably going to be, I'm going to intersperse packing with taking pictures and listing and just getting as much general eBay work done as I possibly can. So today, I mean, this video might be over an hour. I think it probably will be pretty long. So I sold well, you'll see it in a minute, but right now, let's switch the camera around and look at it's only like 4 sales from Thursday and Friday, and we'll see what those were all about, and then see what else we can get done today. So, man, I am tired. I wouldn't say it's been a hard weekend. It's actually been a pretty nice weekend. Jessica and I did a kind of a double feature yesterday at the movie theater. We went to see really Friday night we went to see Masters of the Universe just because we wanted to get out of the house and have something to do. Then Saturday morning we saw Disclosure Day, the new Steven Spielberg movie. Then we went for lunch, had a nice lunch together, and then went back to the theater to watch Obsession. So it's been a 3-movie weekend, which means a lot of eBay work was put to the wayside. But that's how it goes sometimes. You got to have a life. It can't just be working all the time. But that leaves it to today to get a lot of work done. So I picked up a pretty good amount of stuff Friday at garage sales. Saturday I went to a big rummage sale at a school, like in the big gymnasium, and also to a church sale. So I have a car full of stuff, and then I also have stuff left over from last weekend that never got listed. So it's going to be a heavy day today, getting a lot of work done, hopefully. If Jessica comes down and says, let's take the day off and go see another movie or something, then I'm going to do that. So we'll just take the whole weekend off. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be a long day of just getting eBay stuff accomplished. Okay, let's take a look at the stuff that's sold and then go pack up this tough box. Okay, so let's run through these items that I sold without telling you about. I didn't film these at all, and I just remembered that I also had one sale Wednesday night, late night after filming. So let's look at that, even though this one is a really bad sale. This is just a ornamental gate latch for your fence. I bought this a long time ago, like May of 2024. I think I have 2 of these, so I still have one sitting around. Which maybe I should just get rid of it because this one, I sold it on sale. It was a 30% off sale because it's been sitting for so long. And so it only sold for $8.39 after fees and shipping and everything. I only earned $3.81 on that. But whatever. It was an extra 3 or close to $4 onto Wednesday's profits. So that jumped up to just over $60 for Wednesday. Not a great day, not a great sale, but it's worth telling you about, I guess. Here's the first sale that came in Friday morning. A Griswold cast iron pan. I almost never find any of these like, antique or vintage, high quality cast iron pieces, but I did find this one. This one had like a lot of damage to the bottom, like probably was rusted a lot, and you could barely even see that it was a Griswold. I just saw like just a couple of letters remained. Let me see. No, I can't show you the picture. I already deleted it. But even with all that damage, this pan still sold pretty well. I paid $8 for it, and it sold for 50. Um, in super good condition, if I had like refinished this and put a new seasoning on it, probably could have sold for over 100. But I paid $8 for it, sold it for 50. After cost of goods subtracted from that 50, after eBay fees, we're looking at a profit of $36.39. So I'm pretty happy with that. It only took 5 weeks to sell, which for me feels pretty quick. Then I sold this um, noise machine, white noise maker. It's basically just a little fan in a box. This company Dome, or I'm not sure if Yoga Sleep is the company and Dome is the brand, or Dome is the brand. I don't know. But yeah, this one sold pretty quickly too. I only listed this maybe less than a week before it sold. I paid $1 for it. It sold it for $19.99, or maybe $18.99, $19 around there, and that left us with a profit of $13.56. So Thursday, unfortunately, these are the only two sales. Only earned $49.94, not even $50. But we did start getting sales early on Friday morning, and a couple of small ones here. I didn't pack anything Thursday night, so I packed them. I packed those last two orders in the morning. I decided I might as well pack the two orders that came in Friday morning and get them to the post office right away. So one of them was this Weight Watchers points calculator. I don't know that Weight Watchers really uses this system anymore, but people still buy these calculators. This one, I used to buy these all the time. Like if I would see one, I would always buy it. And usually they're under a dollar, quarter, 50 cents, a dollar. This one I paid $1 for. I only sold it for $7.99, so this must have been on sale too. I'm not sure if I would buy these again, but they are tiny and they don't take up any space. They usually sell quickly. This one took kind of a long time to sell. Um, so I only sold it for $7.99, only earned a profit of like $4.50 on that. Then this owl sold much faster than I expected it to. I got this at my lunch break thrift store. I paid $2.50 for it. I think it was probably $5 and it was a half off day or something like that. I don't imagine them putting $2.50 on something like this. But this is from a German company or Austrian company called Goebel, or Goebel, Goebel, ceramic owl. It's much smaller. I Once it sold, I was like, oh no, I got to go pack that thing. I was imagining it being, big, but then when I went to pick it up, it's only about probably like 5 or 6 inches tall. So it was very easy to pack. I bought it for $2.50, sold it for $25. It took 2 months to sell, which maybe seems like a long time to some of you, but I was expecting this thing to sit for a long, long time before anybody ever bought it. But I guess maybe it did well because it photographs well. These pictures of it looked pretty good. And then, so I packed that, shipped that out Friday, and I packed these as well. This one actually, the person bought this and then immediately sent a cancellation request, and I was like, oh no, this sucks. I was ready to get rid of these because I've had these for about 6 months. They're Winnie the Pooh mugs. Got Eeyore on one and Tigger on the other one. I think Winnie the Pooh is on the other side of the Tigger one. But I looked at the cancellation request, and for the reason of cancellation, it said entered wrong address. We'll buy again right away. So I approved the cancellation, relisted these, and then as soon as that took effect, it takes a little while on that, sometimes as much as up to like half an hour. But once that all happened, I copied the URL, sent it back to the buyer, and he bought it again immediately right away. And I had sent him an offer on this several weeks ago. The offer was expired, so it would have been a 10% off, probably like 32 something. And I was considering changing the price to that, but then I noticed, well, he paid full price for it the first time, so I'll just put it back at full price. And he bought it right away, $36.99. I earned actually exactly $30 on these, which is always surprising to me when you hit a round number like that. But $30 on these two mugs. I only paid $4 for them at an estate sale. But again, it was like 6 months ago, so these have been sitting for a little while. But honestly, in my shop, 6 months isn't really that long. I think of my shop like sometimes I think I'm like a cheesemonger or a cheese maker or a wine maker, that's sometimes you have to put the effort into something that you're not going to get any return on for months or potentially years until the cheese is ready. You got to just keep figuring out how to make money until you the product that you're making is ready to sell. And a lot of the stuff in my shop is like that. It's like I bought it and I listed it today. It's not going to sell for a year and a half or 2 years. But I am doing better. Recently, it seems like a lot of my sales are more, items that I purchased much more recently. So I don't know. Maybe I'm getting better at this, or maybe I'm not. Who knows? Okay, we're gonna go in the kitchen. I've got my packing bench in there, and I am going to go through the whole process of packing this. It's a model ship, like a schooner ship, the Cuddy Sark, I think. It's going to be, it may be easier than I thought because I think I have a box that's almost exactly the right size. I was anticipating having to build a box from scratch, but I think I'm going to be able to make this work, and maybe it won't take that long. So let's go in there, see how that process works, and come up with a way to pack this ship safely. So here he is. This is a boat, model ship. I got this from my the same lunch break thrift store I go to every day. I'm gonna clean my lens off and be right back. Okay, I don't know if that looks any better, but this guy, I got 3 ships all on the same trip. This one I paid $11 for. The others are a little bit smaller. I think I probably paid around the same, probably $10 a piece for them. It's a little bit dusty, but I'm not interested in trying to clean it and maybe potentially mess something up. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. So the guy who bought this messaged me ahead of time and said, how will you ship this so that it won't get damaged? And my plan was to attach it to a small box. Like I started to work on this a little bit last night, and then I decided to hold off so that we could work on it together this morning. A small box like this, which I've already made. I just folded this piece of cardboard and then I hot glued it. I got this hot glue gun running and this hot glue heating up as well because I suspect I'm going to be doing some more gluing this morning. So I hot glued this and have it together. I think I might do some extra taping on this just because I'm not convinced that the hot glue is going to hold up to what I plan to do with it. So let's get a little extra tape on here. And maybe I'll just run a bead of hot glue along this seam here to just try to hold this box in place. Well, I just messed that tape up. So I'm trying to, what I'm going to do is put the ship on here and then use some of these zip ties. I'm going to punch holes in this box and run the zip ties through and then attach the ship to that and then attach this to the bottom of this big box, which, as I said, I just kind of lucked out and I found a box that this thing fits in pretty much. I mean, it probably could be like a few inches taller and I'd be happier, but this I think is going to be pretty good. So I will glue this down here with the ship attached to it. So the ship will be basically have space all around it so it can't get damaged really. And then I'm going to cut some boxes similar to this that will just fill this space. So if there's any pressure coming from the top, that the box won't crush in because it will have multiple boxes in here holding it in place. So I don't know if this is an ideal plan, but I think it's pretty good. If I get part of the way through it and I feel like I want a little bit more, I'm gonna put a plastic bag over this ship and then fill the rest of the void with styrofoam peanuts. So okay, let's try this. I'm going to use my knife here. Where is it? All right, I have it down. I'm gonna cut some holes right here. I made marks here where I want to cut them, and I'm gonna have a hard time fishing these zip ties through these holes, but I think it'll work out. I'm pretty sure it'll work. I hope it'll work out. So like I said, I paid $11 for this. I sold it for $200. So it's not like it's $1,000 but $200 is a lot of money. I want to make sure this thing gets where it's going. safely as possible. And unfortunately, it could be going to, I live in Illinois, in Chicago, so ideally it would be going to somebody in Chicago, or maybe Indiana or Ohio, somewhere close to here, but it's going all the way to California, which it seems like every time I have anything that I have any concerns about getting there safely, it's always going to California. I guess that's where the people who have money to waste on boats live. I don't know. The guy messaged me and said he wants to have it shipped to his California home. So that tells me he's got multiple homes, so he's doing all right. And he said, he was sending me a lot of messages of information I didn't need. So he said he was buying this because his son used to live in the Caribbean. So I don't know really what that means, but that's what he told me. The son was going to be at the California house, and then he was going to the California house. He asked me if I would be able to get it there by the 24th. And I said, I think it will probably get there before that. Today, I don't know what the date is today, the 11th, maybe? So the chances of it getting there before him are pretty good. Hopefully he has some kind of system to deal with mail. All right, get in there, get in there. All right, that's not working. I folded up the tip here to try to make it so I could fish this through. It should go right through. I feel like I'm hitting something, but there's nothing in there to hit. Okay, there we go. So that's through. I'll do another one. So I'm just attaching these together. I don't have one zip tie that's long enough. So I'm going to probably end up using 3, I would guess. I was thinking I might do the same thing with the outside of this box. Attach this with glue and then run zip ties through the outer box to hold this in, but I don't know if that's gonna work. Maybe it will. I need another one. This is going to be boring, I guess, but this is going to be one of the most complicated things I've packed in a while, most fragile and nerve-wracking. I did ship that picture frame a few weeks ago, and that one ended up breaking. The glass broke in shipment. I was 100% sure I did the best job I possibly could, and it's still, you can't send glass in the mail. Every time I've tried, which is really very few times, I've had issues with the thing getting broken. So I'm still waiting to hear about that. I put in an insurance claim with eBay's, what's it called? Ship cover. And I have not heard a word one about it. And on the eBay website, it says you should hear back by the 20th. So I put that claim in, I think, before June 1st. So that's a pretty long time to wait to hear. 20 days to hear, even if they've accepted the claim or they've heard about the claim. Okay, is this going to be, can I do 2 of these? I might just be able to get away with just 2 and not have to put a 3rd one in. But okay, I cut this last night. A little piece of foam, I cut it so that it could fit around these posts, and I could tie these zip ties up without damaging the base. So we'll try this. Yeah, good. I thought I was going to have to use 3 of these, but 2 is going to be fine. This one's going to be a little harder, the one that's actually underneath the boat. Okay, try it. There we go. Yeah, this one's a lot harder. There it goes. Get these as tight as I can. I don't want this boat moving at all. This kind of stuff, like these hanging anchors, I feel like I should probably tie them down somehow, but I don't really know what to do with them. Come on. These zip ties, they seem good, and people use them for all kinds of like permanent solutions, but this plastic is, I don't know what kind of plastic it's made out of, these zip ties, but they will deteriorate over time. So I used them to hold some yard signs up to some metal frames, and after they were out for one winter, they just crumbled into dust. So you can't really use this to hold your house together or anything like that. Anything that you expect to last for a long time, but this just needs to last a few days. So as you can see, it's holding on here pretty good. I'm just concerned that hot glue is not going to be enough to hold this in place. What I could do, I have an idea. I'm thinking about putting this in here. I luckily had this piece of cardboard that was essentially the right size, the right length, like it fits right in here. It's a tiny bit shorter on the ends, but I think that's fine. But now I'm thinking about putting something in here, like a column to press down on this and hold this in place. So I'll have the hot glue and something. Yeah, that's what I'll do. And then I'll cut something. I'll build some kind of a box or a tube or something right here. That's the exact width, the depth of this box, and glue that in place so that it can't get crushed. So, okay, let's figure out what do I have? I do have some styrofoam back here. I'm not sure why these are wrapped in paper like this, but this is how I got these pieces. I think that maybe Jessica gave these to me and she did something, some kind of display or something at her job. But I have two of these. I must have used part of this before for something. But what if I put this here and cut this to the exact length or a tiny bit longer so I could compress it a little bit? And then it should hold that in place. Can I hot glue styrofoam? I guess we'll find out. So press this down as much as I can, and then I'm gonna cut it straight across. I don't like cutting this stuff in the house. And upstairs in our craft room, I have like a hot wire machine specifically for cutting styrofoam like this. But it's a pain to get that thing out and bring it. And oftentimes the styrofoam I'm using is too thick for it, and I can't even get it to work. Okay, that seems good. Now another one. Let's get this paper off. I could leave the paper on. It's not hurting anything. This one is too tall. Shoot. I should have measured the first one, or cut this one based on the measurement of the first one. Because now I can't stand this thing up because I hit the ceiling. I think this will be fine. Try this one, and I made it too short. Luckily, I have another length here, so I'm gonna make this one a little bit longer and hope for the best this time because that's the last piece of styrofoam I have. There we go. Okay, that's good. Then when I make some boxes that fit here, I'll push them right up against this so they'll hold this in place. Does this seem okay? So I think this box will hold this side from getting crushed. Maybe I can put some small blocks in here as well. Let's try laying this down and see what happens. I think it's fine. Maybe I should just about, that's not quite enough. I was thinking about putting holes or grooves in this for these masts. What if I did this one? I think I could put this in here. Okay, let's try it. This is a test. I don't know if I'm gonna do this or not, but if I want to keep this really in place, I can pull this down. That's only going to hold a one mast, but then I can just put a sheet of cardboard in here. Let's see. If I put this in here, that should hold that where I need it to be. I'll probably have to put blocks underneath and on top so that it stays centered in this box. Yeah. What do I have? Okay, I'm gonna look around for some other pieces of cardboard and stuff. I'm gonna cut and build boxes to fit in here, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I have a little scrap piece of cardboard here, and this flap part of it is just about the right height. It's maybe like a quarter of an inch too tall, so I'm going to take a ruler and cut this down to the exact height of that box, and then make some like square tubes here to fit in these spots where there's open air, and try to keep this box from collapsing. But right now, seems like it's going pretty well. Looks okay to me. So let's do this. I'm trying to think. I think I'll cut this end. I can keep this flap to make a lid where I can glue. I hope this makes some sense what I'm talking about. Let's get rid of this part first. It's just causing trouble. And got a long ruler here. Unfortunately, I don't think this is a straight line, but this should be a straight line. So let me figure out exactly how tall this is. So I'm looking at right there, 7.5, I think. 7.5 from there, yeah. 7.5 from there is right here. I'm gonna make a mark with a knife instead of a marker or something, and then do it a couple more times. Yeah, you can see what I mean. This box is not straight. This cut, I've just probably cut this freehand. 7.5. Whoops, don't want that ruler to move. 7.5. Okay, now I can line these up, I think. If I can remember where I put them, if I can see them. 7.5, 7.5. Ooh, it's gonna be a little bit, it's already slightly less than that here in this shortest section right here, but I think it'll work still. Here's a trick. You can put your knife on one of the spots where you want to cut it, and then it will hold it in place. Then you don't have to worry about lining up the second mark with the ruler. Now that is 7.5. These things don't have to be that big, really. Let me just figure out. I want this to be like right here, and that space is, I'm gonna use actual measuring tape. I want this to be 4 by probably 3. Probably, let's say 3 by 3, 3.5 by 3. Yeah, okay. Let's start at this end. So I'm gonna use a marker this time, if I can find one. 3.5 by 3 by 3.5. Okay, I'm gonna make this easier on myself. I'm just gonna cut this right here and then figure out how long this is and then just divide it by 4. 12, so 4, 4, 4, or 3, 3, 3. 3, 3, 3. 3, 6, 9. Perfect. Now, I have this cutting board that has these straight lines on it. So I can put this here, get it as straight as I can on one of these lines, and then I'm just gonna line this up where I want these to bend. I'll use my perforating tool here, box resizer. I don't need to do it up here, really, just down here. I hope this makes sense. Okay, so there we have a 3 by 3 by 3 box. I only need one of these, so let's get this cut here and here, then here and here. This is going to be, this line should be 3 inches. 2, 3. Maybe this is a little bit smaller, a little shorter. I'm making a top for this, and then I'm going to cut this off. Don't need that much. Let's get some angles here, make it a little easier to put inside. Okay, fold, fold. Fold, fold, fold. Then this will fold in here. And I can glue this into place right here. And now will that close? Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, perfect, perfect. Okay, hot glue here. This glue gun, this cordless one, the part that's supposed to grab the glue and push it through up here doesn't really work that great. So you kind of have to push the glue with your hand if you really want it to get in there. Now I'm going to glue this flap. Whoops, put my hand right in the hot glue. Smart. Okay, I got strings of hot glue everywhere and a burned finger, but we're doing fine. Okay, might as well put some tape around here and hold this in case the glue wants to give away, but I think it's fine. Now I'm gonna make, will this fit here? Yeah, this will fit here. I'm gonna make 4 of these and then glue them in there. So I'm gonna cut the camera while I make the other 4. You've seen me make one, I'm just gonna do the exact same thing again. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, I made 4 of these. They're all kind of slightly different sizes, but it doesn't really matter. It just would look a little bit more professional if they were all the same size, but I didn't have, the cardboard wasn't cooperating to make them all the same size. So let's get this ship back up here and see which locations these things are going to go. So this one could fit here. If I push it up against this styrofoam, it'll keep that styrofoam in place. Even though I glued it in there, it might be better to just have a little bit extra support. I'm trying to put the biggest ones up at the top and the smaller ones at the bottom. Yeah, this will also hold the ship down. If I push that into the corner to give a little bit more support to these zip ties. Okay, let's get to gluing. My I think that cordless glue gun I have is not really the best quality. It doesn't really work that well. It has a hard time pushing the glue out, and I don't feel like it gets hot enough to really melt the glue the way this one does. So I'm using this small plug-in one, and I'm really gonna go all in on the glue here. Put this in this way, push it into place, and I'll just hold it here for a second while I find another glue stick. Get this one started. It's not ready yet. I don't know what amount of time it really takes for that glue to set. I should have a bucket of ice on the bottom. Okay, that feels pretty good. The second one, it's nice having that cordless option, but it just doesn't really work. I got that at a garage sale. I think I only paid $1 for it. Put this glue in now. I don't know how long you can let this sit before it needs to be put in place. I haven't really used glue sticks like this, hot glue, that much in my life. Okay, that seems like enough. I'll put this one in the corner and hold it in. Same as before, I'm using this stick to push down on that lid part. I really want to get a good seal here. You know, you buy big, heavy stuff, they usually have their box stapled, but I don't have an industrial stapler like that, or I don't think it's probably really necessary. Okay, well, let's get more glue on here. So I'm just pushing the glue through to get it really to come out in big globs. I think I've probably took all the heat out of it. So put that one right there. Same deal. Push it down with the... This is another box resizer, but it has a nice long handle. I can push down here and get that glue to stick where I need it to. Okay, that's good. My next option, well, I mean, I really don't have the choice now. I was thinking about putting paper over this ship. I mean, plastic over the ship, and then putting in those styrofoam peanuts. But at this point, that ship is pretty much, I was gonna say sailed. That ship has sailed. I've got the ship in here, so it can't sail. It's stuck in place, and it's not going anywhere. Somebody will have to remove this stuff to get it out of that location. They're gonna have to probably cut these straps, remove these cardboard blocks and the styrofoam and everything to get this ship out. Okay, I feel like this is enough, but I also feel like somebody out there is gonna say I didn't do it right, and they might be right, I don't know. So these lids come closed. Now those blocks keep the ship from getting crushed. Unless there's, like, you know, direct pressure right in the middle here, which there's no way I can really put. I mean, I kind of probably could put another block, a really small one right in the middle, skinny one, but I don't know if it's worth it. I think I will seal this up, and then I'll figure out what cardboard I have to do another wrap on this, so it's sort of double boxed, at least double wall box. I'll probably have to use several pieces of cardboard because I don't think I'll have a box big enough to go on the outside of this. But this section feels super secure. This feels super secure right in the middle, though. Yeah. What if I do? Okay, let me find another sheet of cardboard. Okay, I made this skinny one just like these, and I'm going to try to squeeze it in here between some of these ropes and sails and keep this thing a little bit more stable. But I have to do this carefully because I don't want to get any of this glue on the sail. So let me move the line out of the way, then push this down past all of that. Okay, good. All right, let me hold this in place. Where's my thing? I want to hold this in place until this really gets solid. And then I think I'm going to go upstairs and get Jessica and have her take a look at this and suggest any improvements. So I feel like I'm going to have to put another box around the outside of this just to make it more stable. I'm just kind of ready to be done with this. Okay, I think that's probably going to be fine. Okay, let me get her. I'm going to ask her advice, and then we'll see what else needs to be done here. Okay, well, I put another post here to try to keep, when I put this lid down, I had this post in place, and that's good for this flap. But then when I put this flap over, it was still pressing down into there. So I put another post in. Then Jessica came and looked at this and said it definitely needs another box on the outside of it. So I grabbed some cardboard from outside, and I'm gonna have to make that into a box. This was out in the garage. I have a big stack of these big moving boxes out there. So I'm going to take a few minutes and make a box that's about, I don't know, maybe an inch bigger than this box, and then I will fill that box with styrofoam peanuts and put this box inside of it. I'm not going to film that because I'm going to have to be sitting on the floor to do it because I don't have a place big enough to make a box that big. So the next time I come back, we'll have this box ready to go inside that box, and then we'll weigh this, get a label on it, and then take a pretty big break, work on something else, come back and pack up more orders. But for now, I'm going to work on this box. I'll be right back. All right, I made this box and then this like a cap to slide on top of it. I'll put that box with the ship inside here. It's really, I mean, it could be a little bit bigger. I wish it was maybe 2 inches longer, but this is as big as I could make this with the cardboard that I have available. So I'm going to put some layer of this styrofoam peanuts on the bottom, maybe like an inch deep. Up and down I have a pretty big amount of space because this cap can just slide up and down the way I want it, however I want it, whatever height I want it. I just can't make the width or the length any bigger. So that's, you know, I think it's going to be okay. I don't know. I'm just going to do the best I can do. Let me try to get this flat in the bottom, and then we'll get this box back up here and check it out. Make sure everything seems cool. I'm thinking I will put a little bit of glue here and lock that down in place. I need another glue stick. Okay, gonna need more glue. Let's get more glue here. I still have to be careful because I don't want this glue dripping on this boat. Okay, so that's gonna hold that down. Now, this one is fine, but this lid is gonna come this way, and I want some glue here to hold that lid in place. And this one's coming loose already. I haven't let it sit long enough to cool. Okay, put this one down. And I'll just hold these for a second, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I flipped this flap over, and now we'll get some tape here and close this inside box. This post right here is a little bit taller than I would like. It's pushing up a little bit, but it's too late to shorten that thing. Okay, I guess that is ready. I'm gonna write on here with a marker just so I remember. Top, I'm gonna put arrows this way and this way, and hopefully this fits in here now. There's not really enough room for much in the way of styrofoam peanuts. Should I put a layer of bubble wrap? I don't think I can. Well, let's try it. Shoot. Peanuts everywhere. I'm gonna get a long strip of bubble wrap. Find a place to tear it. Looks like it's there, but it doesn't want to tear. Nope, ripped it. I'm gonna put this here that way, and let's get a little bit more. 2 pieces like this, and this. This is taking up the whole day. I don't know what time it is, but I started this at 8 and it's almost noon. Of course, I've taken some breaks in between there, but Jessica, when she wasn't home, she went out to get sandwiches. So we had kind of a late breakfast. Okay, now can this go in here? Okay, let's just tear this. We don't need all this. Where is the tearing? And then slip this down, tear this side off, slip this down. All right, that's good. No, I didn't use all that. I wish that I had like a full inch around all sides of this box, but I just can't. I can't make that happen. Okay, this box will come on top. And this is going to be a tight fit, but actually not that bad. There we go. So I think I think I'll open this, put more of the styrofoam peanuts in, and then close it back up. So let's try that. Unfortunately, I just put all this tape on here, so it was a waste because I'm opening it back up again. All right, this is stuck down for some reason. Okay, we'll get whatever we can in here. Let's get rid of this. Let's do all of it. I might check to see if the UPS store is open today and just go get rid of this box right now, because I don't know that I'll have time to do it Monday before I go to work or after work. Okay, good. All right, now I'm just gonna tape this all up. Oh, look at all the styrofoam I dropped on the floor. I'll just tape this all back together and then weigh it, get a label on it, see how much it's gonna cost. And I might just, I know there's some UPS stores around here that are open on Sundays, so I might just run it to the store today. Okay, well, this outer box looks a little bit ugly, but it's gonna do the job. I taped it up all around. I'm gonna go back and do the corners where I scored them. I got some of them, but not all of them. Then I wrapped the whole thing with this fiberglass reinforced tape so that it will definitely hold together. It's pretty light. Let's put it on the scale and see where we are. Okay, this scale says 12 pounds, 5 ounces. I'm gonna write it on a label. 12 pounds, 5. I'll write ship on here. 12.5. Now we gotta get this thing measured. I should know what it is because I did all these measurements already, but let's just double check. Okay, 29.5. So that's really 30. Then this way is 29. So it's just a little bit over 29. We'll call that 32. Now the depth, there is some kind of bulging in it, so I gotta make accounts for that. 11 inches. 30 by 30 by 11. Let's get eBay open and find out how much a label is going to cost for this. There we go. This one is finally finished and ready to go. I found an open UPS store, so I will just take it there today, get it out of my house and out of my life. This thing has been quite an ordeal. It took about probably, I would say, 3 hours to get this all packed. And like I said, I was messing around, taking breaks, doing other stuff. I cleaned up some stuff in there. I brought some inventory down here. I did a lot of other things while I was working on this because it was a little bit overwhelming. But this one's done and ready to go. There is a little bit of disappointment because it turned out to be much heavier than I expected it to be after adding that extra box on the outside. And the buyer paid me $60 shipping on that. They paid $199.99 for the boat. $63.45 shipping. The actual shipping was $85.66. So I'm losing close to $20 there. And I'm still doing fine. Total profit $131.07. But again, spent 3 hours packing that for $130. That's not a great hourly rate. But on top of that, when I was messing around with these big boxes up here, I managed to knock my laptop down. It went down here in this little cavity, and I caught it as it was falling, and then it slipped out of my hand and fell down there, and the screen just shattered. I potentially could put a new screen on there, but this was a very cheap computer. I think I spent I think it was like $220. I bought it explicitly to use for eBay. I only needed to be able to access the eBay website. It didn't need to be a very fancy computer. So that one has been sitting here for quite a while. This one I brought down now is just my computer that I use upstairs most of the time. I do most of my video editing on this for YouTube. So it has to be a pretty decent computer to handle that. And this one does all of that stuff without too much trouble, but it weighs 1,000 pounds. The cord is always falling out. I bought it refurbished. Some of the keys don't really work properly. So I've been looking for a replacement for this one for a while, but I wasn't expecting to do that today. But now this one will be my dedicated eBay computer, and I ordered a new one. Should be here Wednesday, hopefully. And it sucks. I wasn't expecting to spend over close to $2,000 on a computer today, but I can write that off on my taxes, I guess, and it's better than if I just had to buy it for no good reason, but now it's a business expense. Okay, I'm gonna take this box to that UPS store. It's a little bit, it's not that far out of the way. It's maybe about 10 or 15-minute drive. And then I'll come back, head into the bedroom where I have my photo booth and start working on photos because I have to get at least like 20 listings done today. And I spent more than a few hours working on this one package. And then I have orders to pack tonight. I think there's like 9 or 10 other orders on top of this model ship. Okay, that's it. I'll see you in a minute in the photo booth. Well, I'm back. It turns out these days you make plans and you think you're going to work all day and then the day just slips away. So it's already almost 3 o'clock. I had to go to Kohl's to do a return, an Amazon return. And then I went to that UPS store and dropped off that package. And the line at Kohl's, I've never gone there to drop off a return before. There were like 15 to 18 people in line in front of me when I got there, and I thought, this can't be right. But that was right. I asked the guy, is it always like this? And he's like, oh yeah, he's business as usual. So I was there for probably 25 to 30 minutes. And then to get to the UPS store, their parking lot is so tiny. I had to park pretty far away, then carry that giant box all the way in. So I've been gone for a long time, probably an hour and a half or more. This is time wasted that I could have been working. But I'm back now. I'm here in front of my photo booth. So let's turn the camera around, see some stuff that's going to get listed today. Some of it's kind of the same. It's a lot of the same type of items. So it's going to be not too exciting, I don't think, but we'll see how it goes. The other day at my lunch break thrift store, I picked up this water filter pitcher. I've never heard of this brand, Zero Water. I think it's maybe made by Culligan. We used to have a Brita filter, so I'm familiar with the idea of it, but I never heard of this one. So I looked this up at the store. If it was just a pitcher, it sells for about 30 bucks maybe, but this has 6 replacement filters. I saw one person had this exact same filter and they had 4 replacements and they sold theirs for $120. I feel like that might have been an outlier because most of them seem to be like 30, let's say 30 to 50 for just a pitcher. So are these 6 filters? I've got 2 here and then 4 in this box. Are they really worth $100 just on their own? I mean, maybe. I know those filters are expensive. I'm not sure, but I'm going to list these, I think at 109. Well, 110, 109.99 plus, I think $10 shipping. I'm experimenting with some flat rate shipping. I do use flat rate shipping. I just have kind of like 2 levels of flat rate shipping, like one really low, like a $4 one, and one like $7.99. It seems like on average, my shipping cost is about $7.65 to $8, somewhere between $7.50 and $8. So this $7.99 average cost is probably what most packages are going to cost to ship them. So I'm gonna do some. Also, I've been noticing that the $7.99 shipping stuff seems to sell a lot faster than the calculated shipping stuff. I don't know if that might just be, I might be reading into things. I haven't really looked into that closely, but I've just made a new flat rate shipping business policy for $10, $9.99. So I'm going to do the $7.99 for some stuff, the $10.99 for some stuff. And this one, I think if I can sell this for $110, I would be fine probably in most cases doing free shipping on this unless it goes to Australia, Alaska or Hawaii, or unless I get a return on that, then I'd be out that shipping cost. So I'm going to just put these flat rate shipping prices so that if there is a return, depending on the reason for the return, I might be able to withhold that original shipping and not lose so much money for a return. So anyway, I'm going to take pictures of these right now, get them listed. Then right after that, I'm going to take this little guy. I don't know if this is this is Funshine Bear. I think it's from 1983 from Kenner. So Care Bear. Yesterday at the church sale, I think I talked about earlier, I was buying a bunch of bags of Legos. Maybe we'll see those later today. And everything there was supposed to be 50% off. So they had these bags of Legos for $10 each. the lady said, I said, I think I'll take those Legos too. And she said, well, that's the one thing that I can't sell you for half off because I just put those out today and they haven't had a chance for people to look at them yet. But I'll give them to you for $8 each. So I wasn't sure if I really wanted them at that price. I don't have much experience just selling bulk. It's just like bulk bags of Legos. You sell them by the pound. Um, and I hadn't had a chance to look at them to see if there's any minifigures or anything in there that might make them more valuable. But I just said, okay, well, if you throw in this little Funshine Bear, I'll take that $8 a bag. And she said, sure, fine. So I got this guy for free. I'm gonna get these two things listed, and then I'll come back with the next batch of items. All right, those items are photographed and ready to list. Now we're gonna look at what's coming up next. I have a couple of these Starbucks tumblers, I guess, with the straws. This one, I think, is from Hawaii. From what I could tell, you could only get this in Hawaii. It doesn't say anything like that on here, and it doesn't even say Hawaii on here anywhere. But from looking at other listings, this is like a Hawaii exclusive. It does have some wear around the rim here. It's clearly been used. But still, I only paid like $2.50 for each of these cups. And this one should sell for like $20 plus shipping. This is a Disney Parks one from 2015. This one is stainless steel. This one's plastic, but this one has the Disney Parks logo on it and all of these attractions, Hollywood Tower of Terror, castles, whatever they have, Epcot Center. So this one probably would have only been available in a Disney park. Same deal, $2.50, probably worth $20. A couple of days ago at a garage sale, I walked up. I couldn't find anything that was interesting to buy. As I was walking away, there was a free box, and this was sitting right on top of it. I couldn't really remember. I know I sold this before, but I don't remember what the deal was with it, how much I got for it or anything. But I grabbed it anyway. It's free. Why not? It's called Potluck for 33,000, and it's basically like a community cookbook, except it was put together by the employees of Dayton's, Hudson's, and Marshall Field's department stores. So I guess all of those must be owned by the same company. I think this is from like 93 or something like that. 1993, with all proceeds going towards the United Way. I suppose they probably sold this in those stores. This one is a little bit worn. You know, some of the spiral holes here are broken out. It's not quite torn out all the way, but a couple of missing pieces. And there's a little tear here where there was probably a price sticker that got peeled off. So anyway, I couldn't find my sale of this. It must have been too long ago to still show up on eBay. But I did find another one that sold for about $25 plus shipping. So I'm going to list this one $29.99 with free shipping, and should hopefully sell pretty quickly. Revereware, you know, I'm always buying this stuff. It is a pain because typically you have to scrub the bottom to get the copper to look good. I guess you don't have to. You could just sell it a little bit cheaper and let the buyer do all the scrubbing. But this one came off pretty easily with just a little bit of barkeeper's friend. It wasn't that dirty. And this is an older, I think they call it like vintage and modern, even though the modern started in like the 60s when they switched the formulation of how they put this copper onto the stainless steel, and they didn't use as much copper as they used to. So this is a pre-1960, I can't remember, 63 or 68. I think 68, where it has a logo. It has a double circle around the logo. That's one way you could tell that it's older, and it should reference something about a patent. It either will say the patent number or made under process patent or something else. There's like 3 different ways that they can say this, and it always has the word patent in it, so you know these are older. This one, pretty good shape, except it has a pretty big dent right here. The lid also has a dent in it. And unfortunately, this screw is missing from the handle. Those screws are available. There are websites where you can buy new knobs, new handles, all of these pieces really. Of course, they're not original, but close enough. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sell it as it is. It's probably about a $50 pot, but since this is missing, I'm just going to try to put the price at like $38.99 and get this sold quickly. I paid $5 for it. And then here's a good pickup. This is Rainmate. I think it's considered an air freshener, but it's really like a humidifier. Made by Rainbow. That's a company that makes vacuum cleaners. And I'm pretty sure it's like you buy a vacuum, you get this thing free. I think that's the way people get these. So I'm pretty sure you can't really just buy these, and they have sort of a cult following for some reason. I don't think there's too much. I don't think Rainbow has a big market here around the Chicago area because I've never seen a Rainbow vacuum. This is only the second time I've seen one of these Rainmates. I bought one of these at another sale, maybe for $2 or $3, and sold that pretty quickly, maybe the next day after listing it. And I expect this one to sell pretty fast too. It's about, I think it's about 50 bucks. It has been used. I cleaned it up, quickly. I didn't like scrub it, but I think I'll get this listed and it will sell probably the same day, if not, within the week. So yeah, good. This is something to keep your eye out for. It doesn't look like much. Doesn't seem too exciting, but people get them for free, so they guess they can sell them for pretty cheap, but they do still have some value and they sell quickly. So 50 bucks, I think, plus shipping. And then these things, this is kind of a mistake. I bought these at the thrift store, my lunch break thrift store. Satina ironing aid for use with cooked starch. This is super old. I would guess these are from the late 40s or the 50s maybe. I don't know when people were really doing, ironing with starch. Like this wouldn't be like a spray on starch. This would be like, okay, it tells you the directions. Mix 2 to 3 tablespoons of dry starch with 1 cup cold water to make a paste. Bring 1 quart of water to a boil. Pour at once into starch and stir until sativa is dissolved. Stir before using. So I don't know what this is. I've got 4 of them though, and I paid $1 for the whole stack. So I looked them up while I was in the store and I didn't see any currently listed, and I sold like I think 1 box or 2 maybe that sold for like 10 bucks. So I figured, oh yeah, I'll grab all 4 of these. Maybe I make $15 or $20 on these for $1. But once I got home, and this happens kind of a lot when you look things up on the phone and you get slightly different results, or sometimes wildly different results than if you look up on a computer. So when I got home and I looked it up on the browser, there's dozens of these things listed and only 1 has sold. So this is going to be a bad buy. I probably should have just given up on them immediately, but we'll give it a shot. I'm going to just list these for 10 bucks, $9.99 plus shipping. Okay, let's do some photos and then I'll come back with the next round of new inventory. Okay, now we have something. I don't know if this is interesting or not, but maybe it is. I guess about the beginning of last week when I went into my lunch break thrift store, they had all of these men's shoes. They're all kind of, similar shoes, similar styles, some different brands, some new, some the same, some different. Some of them are brand new. I think really all of them are brand new, but only 1 pair still has the tags on it. And it seems like 1 person probably just donated all these shoes. I don't know why you would have so many shoes that were unworn, that were all so close to each other, but most of these are men's shoes, size 10, with this suede or nubuck leather, and they're in perfect condition. Every single one of them. I would say none of them have been worn. If they were worn, they were just to try them on. And I mean, it's possible it was somebody who was like a shoe salesman, I guess, and they had all these shoes because they're all size 10, which I think is I think 10 and a half is technically like the most average size. So if you're buying shoes and they're size 13, 14, 15, 17, like I used to think those are the ones I should be looking for, because people who need those sizes might have trouble finding them in the shoe store, so they're going to return to eBay to get their shoes. But after having size 15 shoes sitting on my shelves for years, I realized that there just are way more people who are size 10 and a half. And then I did some research and started looking into what actually is the most average size. And it was 10 or 10 and a half. So all of these men's ones are size 10s. I don't know how to even guess how they ended up there at the store. But I went in there Monday. I bought these. they had $6 price tag in them. I took it up there and then they said, those are $9. And then I looked and one shoe had a $6 price tag, one had a $9 price tag. So something went wrong somewhere. They decided to give me back the $3. And so I paid $6 for one of these pairs. The next day I went in and I was just looking at those shoes again. And I think I got these. It was either these or these with this kind of brogue. I think this is considered a brogue pattern. I got these for $9 or $6. No, 6. And then the next day, Wednesday or Thursday, I went in and there was a sign on the door that said all shoes 50% off. So it made me wish that I hadn't bought those the days before because I paid full price for those when I could have got them for $3. So all the rest of these I paid $3 for. So on average, what do I pay? Like probably $4 a pair of these shoes. And most of them are in like the $35 to $50 range. I think all of them I have listed like $35 to $45 plus $10 shipping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pairs of shoes. Then I also got these women's shoes. These are SAS, San Antonio Shoe Works, made in the USA. These are women's slip-on shoes. I mean, look at these. They're like, nobody ever wore these. I'm sure these were never worn. Maybe this was a shoe salesman and they dropped these shoes off at the same time. I also got these Borns. I had pretty good luck with some Born shoes just recently, so these looked like these aren't as pristine as the others, but they're still really, really nice condition. It's a little bit of wear at the very back of the heel, and maybe that's just my imagination looking for problems. These look, I would be surprised if anybody wore these more than 2 times. So anyway, all of these are going to be about $35 to $45. Maybe some of them were like 50. There's some Cole Haans here. These are Bass. I think these are probably the lowest value ones, but they're nice. I mean, this is like solid leather. It looks good. Bostonian. I think Bostonian makes some pretty high-end shoes, and I think these are their lower-end ones. They're called Extra Light. I can't find anybody selling these XL Extra Light shoes. I don't know why. I mean, occasionally you just look for something and there is no listings. These are Rockports. I think there's another pair of Rockports here somewhere. Anyway, I basically bought all the men's shoes that they had there. There's some sneakers and some other stuff I left behind. But the women that work there are always asking me, are these shoes going to fit you or that kind of stuff? And you never really know how to answer that question because some people could be really turned off if you say, I'm here to buy this stuff so I could sell it. But some of them are like, you're going to sell this stuff, right? And then they point me in their direction and say, look over here. Here's something that's really good. So you never know. Some people are really, helpful and supportive. Other people will turn their nose up. So there's one of these pairs has some paper stuffed into them. So I'm going to take pictures of that one first and then move the papers to the next ones and just fill them out so they look a little bit nicer. I wish I had a suede brush, or is it called a nubuck brush? I'm not sure, but like this one has a little bit of, you can see the marks where the other shoes were leaning up against it. So I wish I could brush that out, but I don't have one of those things. I don't even know what it looks like. Is it like a horsehair brush? Oh, wait, I do have a toothbrush. Maybe I can, this is actually a denture brush. Maybe I can get this to disappear. Well, it's starting to go. Yeah. Well, I can still see it, but it's on the way out. So I'll scrub this for a minute and then I'm going to get these pictures done. And then I might be done for the day. Oh, there's a couple other things upstairs. Maybe I'll go up there and grab that stuff and show it to you. It actually is pretty interesting. So yeah, I'll get this stuff listed or ready to list. And then there's some hand printed posters upstairs. I will grab those and we'll take a look at those. Well, I had a few more things down here that were ready to go. So I'll show you these and then I'll run upstairs and grab these. They're like posters and prints. And then we'll take a look at those, but let's get this stuff done. I don't know exactly what this is. All this stuff came from my thrift store I go to my lunch break. When I went in there was like a giant pile of crafting supplies and books on a table. And some of those crafting books can be special, but I didn't want to be scanning barcodes on books all day long and trying to find the good ones. So
I rummaged through that stuff pretty quickly. The only thing I found was this thing, which is called a bead-alon. It's basically a ruler with these clamps at each end, so you can tie stuff on and do beads. It's called a tying station. I don't know exactly what you use it for, but it's brand new in the box. I paid $3 for it. It should go for about 22. At the same day that all the shoes were 50% off, they had all shirts for $2. Their normal price for short sleeve shirts, I think, is 5 or 6. So that's pretty good, less than half. It didn't seem like they were really overwhelmed with clothing, so I'm not sure why they had that sale going, but whatever. I was happy to take part in it. First thing I got was this FootJoy golf shirt. It has this probably Tampa Bay Club logo embroidered on it. I don't know what that means, TPC, but I have had okay luck with golf shirts of specific golf courses, which is what I think this probably is. But we'll see how it goes. Only $2 for this. Once I got it home and I spread it out to take pictures, I could see some, I don't know if you'll be able to see them on the camera. There's some thread pulls down here at the bottom. This kind of elasticy shirt, this kind of thing happens a lot. It's not great, but it's not necessarily a deal breaker. This is probably about a $40 or $50 shirt, I think, without those pulls. But with them, I'll try to get 35 for it. If I can't get that, I'll just try it for like $19.99. And then they had 2 of these Pacific Legend made in Hawaii Hawaiian shirts. They're not like the traditional Hawaiian pattern. This is like sort of a tiki design. Oh man, there's a stain on here. Okay, I can't take pictures of this until it goes into the wash, but this is I got 2 of them. The other one had paint on it, and it looks like maybe this one had paint as well. There's a little spot right here, and then I can see a spot where somebody has tried to clean this. So these 2 shirts might end up just going in the garbage. The other one, I was thinking I'll sell this one and then I'll just throw that one in with it. But now that sometimes you put these shirts under these bright lights and stuff that you can't see just jumps out. Like there's a little bit of white paint right here and this like dried paint. This is like paint that somebody has scraped off, I think. Okay, that's garbage pretty much. I'm not even going to bother trying to wash this. That's 2 shirts I paid $2 a piece for that are not sellable. I need to be a little bit more careful in the store when I buy these kind of things, but you cannot. The lighting in those stores is not ideal for seeing that kind of stuff. That's disappointing. 2 shirts. I don't think I should even put them in the garage sale pile. Honestly, I would feel bad selling those to somebody without them knowing they have paint stains on them. So, all right, those 2 shirts are out, but I'll take pictures of this FootJoy one and this bead-alon thing, and then I'll be right back with the stuff from upstairs. Okay, so last weekend I picked out some garage sales I wanted to go to. One of them was kind of far away, about a 25-30 minute drive, and I was on my way there and I drove past a church that had a big sign up that said rummage sale. So I popped in there. Some of the stuff you've seen me listing in the last few days came from that sale. And I think this is the last stuff from that sale that's needing to be listed. But I was walking around, looking at everything, and I saw this poster. It's for a screening of Buster Keaton, Buster Keaton, the silent film star, his 1926 movie, The General, which is about this train. This looks like it was a screening at the Pacific Film Archive in Berkeley, California. Here's a phone number. And it was Saturday, August 19th. And then right here is the artist's signature, and it says 1972. So I'm assuming this screening is 1972. But every version of this poster that I have seen, the people have listed it as a date 1977. So this is sort of tough font here. It's like sort of, I don't know what style it's supposed to be, but like Art Nouveau-ish or something like that. And the font, I guess, could be hard, but it's clear to me it says 1972. However, like I said, every one that I've seen says 1977. It's possible they did another screening and then changed the date to 1977, but this one, I'm 100% sure 1972. Of course, that his signature could have been in 1972 and then the screening was at a different date. I'm not sure, but I'm going to list this saying 1972 because that is the information that I have. I guess I could do some research and find out when the Pacific Film Archive showed this movie on August 19th. Or I could find out when August 19th happened to be on a Saturday. In any event, I found this there. It was in this pack with this paper, and it has this business card attached to it. It says Laszlo Bagi, I guess, B-A-G-I. It says artist, fine, printmaker. Based on this, which also has this sort of vintagey font on it, I thought all of this stuff was probably from the 70s. And I assumed that this artist is named David Lance Goins, who did this poster. I assumed that he designed it and then it got printed by Laszlo Bagi. So it was in there like this. I could see it very clearly. And then there was a stack of other paper behind it. I flipped the paper up like that and I could see it's blank. You know, it looks like blank paper. So I thought, okay, well, this is just a pack of printmaking paper or watercolor paper or something like that. And they stuck this print in there to keep it safe. But this was $8. I looked it up. I found one example of this that sold on eBay like 3 years ago for like $79, 80 bucks. And this was $8. So I thought, okay, $8, I'll sell the poster and then I'll have this drawing paper to do something else with, or printmaking paper or something. Maybe I'll use it for a project. So I grabbed this and I was carrying it out. And as I was leaving, there was a man outside and he said, "Oh, you got those prints? That's a good deal. Those prints are very valuable." And I said, "Well, there's only one print here." And he said, "Oh no, those are all prints." So I wasn't for sure if he knew what he was talking about, but I did bring it home. So this one, $8, should be worth $80. I did bring it home and opened it up and started taking a look at it, and there for sure were other prints in here. It just has enough of a margin that when I was flipping through it in the church, you know, where it's kind of hard to actually look at stuff, I couldn't see these other prints were on here, or else I was looking at them from the back. I'm not sure. But anyway, I was hoping these would be all different prints, but in fact they are all the same, but they are different editions or something. So I have a little bit of a background in printmaking, so I understand about how you sign things and what the numbering systems mean and whatever. And this is signed artist proof. So I started looking through, and this is the first one on the top. It says number 12 streetcar, Grand Avenue, Oakland. So that other one is Berkeley, California. This one is Oakland, California. I assumed all of this stuff is coming from the Bay Area. And that one is dated 1972, so I assume this is from the 70s as well. That other one looks to me like a lithograph. This looks like screen print. The lithograph has no real texture on it. The screen print, you can feel where the ink lays on top of the paper. So I think I know this is a screen print based on research, but I pulled it out. It says artist proof. So usually, you know, an artist designs a printmaking artist designs a print, and then in some cases they're commissioned to make the edition of prints, and they finish them all. They do, like, you know, 1 of 1,000, 2 of 1,000, 3 of 1,000. They sign them all that way, and then the artist will keep some artist proofs for themselves. It's part of the edition, but it's sort of separate from the edition. And I think the idea really is like the artist has, let's say 10% of the edition they get to keep for themselves, and then they can sell them to kind of pay for the work, or they just keep them for their archives or whatever. But this one, I'm just not really sure what's going on here. So I looked up this information and then the artist name. So this one is signed, and it has you won't be able to see this. It has an embossment here. So we would have like an embossing tool that says Laszlo Bagi, artist, fine printmaker. So this is the same guy whose business card was on the paper. So I looked up his name, and the first thing that came up when I looked up his name was this print. However, it was this version of it, full color print. On his website, it says this print was done. He lives in Philadelphia, I think, and he was commissioned to do this print for some sort of a conference that was about transportation or streetcars or something like this. I imagine people who are just really into this kind of thing, they commissioned him to make this print. He made it of the number 12 streetcar on Grand Avenue, Oakland, California, Key System, 1940s. Here's a Key System logo, and then it says ICF Kaiser Engineers. I don't know exactly what that means. And then it's signed here, Laszlo, although you would never ever be able to read that. And it says artist proof. So I looked at his website. This was commissioned by that conference. It says on the website it was done in an edition of 200 prints and 5 artist proofs. So right here, let's check these. Right here are 1, 2, 1, 2. They're not numbered. Sometimes you would sign an artist proof. You would number it artist proof 1 of 5, artist proof 2 of 5, so that you know exactly how many proofs were made. But in this case, they just say artist proof. There's no numbering. I have 1, 2, 3, and then 4. There's the 4th one. These are all full color prints. According to the website, there's 24 colors. So there would have been 24 screen printing screens made. They were lay out here, each color put on individually, layered and layered and layered until you get the final result. I have 4 of these. So if there was an edition of 200 plus 5 artist proofs, I have 4 of them. At the church, they had another print, this print, in a frame, and they were asking $95 for it. Now, I didn't think that I was going to pay $95 for that, so I didn't really look at it that closely. So I don't know if that was the 5th artist proof or if that was something else. Maybe that was like number 100 of 200 or 120 of 200 or whatever. I didn't look at it, so I don't know. But according to his website, there are 5 artist proofs. Now, I have these 4 full color artist proofs that are labeled artist proofs. But also the first one that you saw and this one that you'll see next are also labeled artist proofs, but they're not the full color. It's just this more limited color palette with only 5 colors: green, yellow, silver, black, and this kind of brownish color. And these are also labeled artist proofs. So already I have 6 artist proofs in my possession, even though the official website says there were 5. So I don't know what to do here. I mean, they're definitely not bootlegs. You know, this artist is a working artist. I think he's still alive, but he's not like, you know, in the stratus where somebody would be making reproductions of his artwork. So I don't know what to do. I put all of this information into ChatGPT, and it suggested that I contact the artist through the website and ask about what's going on here. And I could do that, but I'm not sure. There's no sales history of this print. So I just don't know really what I'm going to do with these. I would like to, maybe I will reach out to the artist, Laszlo, and find out. So ChatGPT asked me to find out, was there 5 of this, and then maybe they did a different edition, like a color process. Sometimes, like I've done this myself, where you're making a print and then you show like the whole process. You make one print where it's just the first color, one print where it's the first 2 colors, one print where it's 3 colors, and you just show it as it develops into the final version. So maybe that's something that was happening here that Mr. Baji was doing. Or maybe sometime later he pulled those other prints out, signed them, and called them artist proofs and sold them because he was needing to make ends meet. I'm not really sure. When you don't have a number, when there's no number, you can do that. You know, you can have an open edition, it would be called. You just continue to publish the same print over and over again until you meet the full demand for how many people want it. So I'm not sure, but I'm feeling like these prints are to the person, I think the person who would want to buy this is probably a person who is invested in like streetcar culture, transportation, somebody's interested in that, somebody who has a history with Oakland, California, somebody who's interested in the 1940s key system, which I'm assuming is the trolley system, or somebody who works for IFC Kaiser Engineers, whatever that is. Actually, I'm going to open up the artist website and I'm going to read to you exactly what it says. Okay, so here it is on the artist website. It's under the commission section. Laszlo is spelled Laszlo, if anybody's interested in looking this guy up. It says, commissions, ICF Kaiser Engineers, International Infrastructure Group, Oakland, California. The assignment was the creation of a hand-printed, historically correct, transportation-related serigraph, is another word for screen print. It's like, it feels fancier, so people put that if they want to put higher prices on their stuff. I usually like to use the word screen print when I'm making prints. I'm a man of the people. Transportation-related serigraph to serve as a gift and promotion for the American Public Transit Association 1991 Rapid Transit Conference in Philadelphia, PA. So the ICF Kaiser engineers were the ones who commissioned him for their conference. Car number 953 was chosen. It represents an earlier era in Oakland public transportation history. 55 streetcars were built for the San Francisco-Oakland Terminal Railway by the American Car Company in 1923. The car depicted number 953 in front of the Grand Lake Theater, an Oakland trademark, is typical of the 900 series cars as they appeared late in life just after World War II. The serigraph was composed and hand-printed by the artist using 24 colors on 100% cotton fiber with oil-based ink. Image size is 18 by 24, sheet size 20 by 26. An edition of 200 copies with 5 artist proofs was issued. Each print came with its own certificate of authenticity completed by the artist. Of course, I don't have those. The print was well received. The print was well received by the client and the recipients, and because of its success, it was repeated a few years later with a different image. There were 600 requests for the print, but because there were only 200 copies, the distribution had to be solved by lottery. So there were 600 people at the time who wanted this in 1991, and only 200 people got it. I don't know if they paid for it or if they were all gifts. But Laszlo apparently hung on to these 5. Somehow or another, somebody in the Chicago area got these 5, these 4 plus those other 2, and didn't do anything with them since 1991. And now I have them. So I don't know what to do here. I'm going to just take pictures of them and list them. And let's see. Let's figure out how much I'm going to try to sell them for. I can't remember. Okay, this one is, I have 2 listings. One for this, the full color one, and one for the 5 color one. So the 5 color one might be the more rare one that might actually be worth more money. But I have that right now planned to be listed at $199 plus $10 shipping. I will ship it rolled in a tube. This other one, Laszlo Baji, 24 color screen print, I'm planning to list it for $250, and I have 4 of those. This is going to be a long tail item. I think that my title should stress the streetcar aspect of it, the Oakland, California aspect of it, maybe the Grand Theater, maybe it should even include San Francisco. My title right now says Laszlo Baji Print, Streetcar Oakland Key System, 1940s, California, ICF Kaiser. That might not be the right word. Maybe San Francisco should be there instead than 1991. Maybe 1991 isn't a great print, a great keyword either. I don't know. Right at this point, I'm going to take pictures of these and get them ready to list. I will think about contacting the artist. I'm not sure if I want to do that. So I don't want this poor guy to know that his prints that he made were sitting in somebody's basement until they donated them to a rummage sale and I bought all of them for $8. So anyway, you let me know what you think I should do. But I think these are interesting and there could be some actual real value, maybe more than that. ChatGPT told me I should sell them all in one lot for $1,200. But I can't imagine anybody wanting to buy all these unless it is the ICF Kaiser engineers or the artist himself wants to get them back. I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to take the pictures now and think about what I should do. And I'll be waiting to hear what you think as well. Well, now that I have taken pictures of those prints, that is the last of the items that I have drafts ready and just waiting to take pictures. So I have a clean slate right now. I have to just start listing again. I should show you this book. Let me go get my book. I'll show it to you. All right, I went upstairs and I got this and I'll tell you about it. During garage sale season, I usually carry a small book around, like a notebook, or in this case, this book is supposed to be a 5-year memory book. So it has, let me just get to a blank page. This says January 11th, which is my birthday by coincidence. You're supposed to write in the year here. At the end of the day, write down a thought, a memory that you have from the day. And then when you get to the end of the book, you come back around and you write the next year in on the next line. And then you have that previous year's memory to think about while you're writing the next year's memories. So you're supposed to do this for 5 years. Of course, I'm not going to do that. I'm just using this book as a notebook. And so what I do, I'm ignoring the date entirely. I write the date on here myself. So on January 8th, I've written down June 12th. And I've just written down everything that I purchased at a garage sale that day and how much I paid for it. In some cases, I might just put like here on the 5th, I just wrote church sale $15, and then I can, or $16, and then I can figure out what I spent that money on later. There's no way for me to remember. You know, when I'm buying this stuff, I feel like I have a good memory and I'll be able to keep up with it. But sometimes stuff does hit the death pile and it sits for weeks or months or even years. And then when you go back to it later, I can't remember where I got it from or how much I paid for it or anything, where it came from, none of that stuff. So writing it down in this book encourages me to get this stuff listed as soon as possible. And then I know exactly what I paid for that stuff. So this one, it says church sale. I can mark that off. Everything from that church sale is listed already. I have some jeans, Talbot's brand jeans. I have not listed yet. I paid $2 for those. I'm going to try to get those listed tonight. And I have some blow molds that we're going to go outside and work on in a minute. So I'm trying to get the earliest stuff done. So what's today? I don't know what the date is. I think it's I'm sure I talked about this already today. Oh, it's June 14th. I was thinking it was the 11th. It's June 14th. So this has been sitting in my house. These jeans and these elf blow molds have been sitting for 9 days. They need to get listed as soon as possible. I mark off each thing as I get them listed, and then when I have the whole page done, I put an X up in the corner so I know that page is done. And then I go to the next page. So from the 5th, I have to get these jeans listed and these blow molds. And then the next day when I had garage sales trips was the 12th, which was yesterday, day before yesterday. Well, whatever day it was. Maybe I wrote the wrong date in here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 items that need to get listed from this weekend's sales. And I'm doing pretty good. I'm on track. I think I have everything else done in the past since garage sale season started. I think I have already got everything that I bought listed except for the stuff from this weekend. So I'm not sure why I'm telling you this. I don't remember. Well, anyway, we're going to go outside right now and address these blow molds. They're some Christmas elves, Santa's elves. They're a little bit dirty, so we're going to scrub those and then hopefully have enough time for them to dry while the sun is still kind of out. I would like to take some pictures of them tonight, and then assuming the lights work, I haven't turned them on, then take pictures of them after dark as well. So let's go out there. I've got a brush here to scrub them with and some simple green. So we'll go out there, get the hose out, and get those blow molds ready to list next. All right, here they are. I got these at a garage sale. I looked up, at the sale, I looked up this one with the mailbox. The elf here putting the letter in the mailbox or opening the mailbox. And that one was selling for about $175. So I didn't bother looking up the rest of them, but I asked her how much she wanted for these, and she said 50 for the whole set. So if I could sell that one, I was contemplating selling them as a big group, but I don't know how I would put these in a box. Even just sending one of these is going to be a pain. But I think I will do them individually and hope that somebody buys them all at one go. Now, they all have, as far as I could tell, I mean, it's from what I've seen, they all have light bulbs. Whether they're attached properly or anything, and whether they're working or not is another story. And then they've attached these wires, like they drilled holes and put this wire through with washers. So I have to figure out how to get these off. I probably have some snips around here somewhere that would cut this wire, and then I won't have to try to untwist it. But I don't know where to look for them. My garage is a disaster, and I don't think I would ever be able to find any tools like that. So I have to figure out how am I gonna get these apart, because they have really wrapped this wire around here pretty good. And maybe I will go look for some snips, because I'm not going to be able to untwist this. At least I need some needle nose pliers, and I was just using some of those this morning, so that should be pretty easy to find. Okay, I found these cutters. Wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, but let's just see if they'll work. Yep, no problem. So there's one. Get this one off. I guess these were probably used to stake them to the ground so they wouldn't fly away or get stolen. Okay, that one's clear. I can see the bulb inside there is hanging loose, so I probably will want to take that apart and get that bulb back in the right location. Santa's workshop. This one has some cracks on it, so this is going to be the toughest one to sell, I would guess. I think all the rest of them are in pretty good condition. The same lady had some candy canes, just those like standard candy canes, blow molds. She wanted me to buy those too, but I didn't feel like I had the bandwidth to handle that, so I left those behind. I think she wanted $10 a piece for those, which is probably too much anyway. Okay, this one I think is, I mean, I'm hoping they're all worth about the same as this one, but she did tell me that she thought one was more valuable than the others, but I don't know where she was getting that information. I have seen a lot lately at garage sales and estate sales, people telling me, we know how much this one is worth because my son looked it up on ChatGPT. So I could tell you that ChatGPT is good for a lot of stuff, but it's not necessarily great at valuing how much things are worth. So it's another thing we're gonna have to contend with in the future. Sellers who think they know. We already have people who say, "Geez," there's already a lot of people who say, I looked this up on eBay, so I know it's worth $50, so I gotta have at least 40. But now they're going to be saying I looked it up on ChatGPT. Okay, let's get this washers cut off. I mean, this I guess is a decent system for attaching these to the ground. If you've got those washers there, you can run a spike through them, but I don't want these here. I'm going to get rid of them. All right, I'm going to throw all these wires and washers in the garbage right now before they cause me any trouble. If I'm going to step on one, it's going to go right through my toes. Well, the first thing I'm going to do before I get them all wet is take this apart and make sure this thing is attached the way it's supposed to be, which I think I should be able to figure out. Might as well plug this in right now and see if it works. But, oh yeah, this is broken. So that's not going to stay in place no matter what I do. But I guess it's fine. Let's plug it in and see if it works. It doesn't look like it's going to work. So I'm out here talking to myself, hoping, oh, there it goes, works. So yeah, good. I'm talking to myself, hoping that the neighbors don't get too creeped out by me. I wonder what I should do here. I mean, should I glue this in place or tape it or just not worry about it? I think just not worry about it is the answer for today. But it would be nice if that stayed in place. I don't know if you can see one of those little pieces of plastic broke off and that's supposed to slide in there. hold it in place. I could, well, I'm not going to fix it. That will be for the next person who owns it to deal with. But why does this feel like it's upside down? The text on it is upside down. But this has got to be the right. I mean, it doesn't have to be the right way. No, it has to be the right way because that's where the hole is. There's only one hole here, one screw. The other side is held on by a clip. So that one cannot be flipped over. But this says General Foam Plastics Corporation. That's one of the original old school blow mold makers. Down here says General Foam Plastics, Norfolk, Virginia. It has that's probably a zip code. Sometimes they have dates and model numbers. This one says 078130124. Maybe 1978, or maybe that's the model number. These things really aren't dirty as much as I thought they were going to be. So I might just brush them off. It's like just a little dusty around the bottom from cobwebs or something. I thought I was going to have to hose them and scrub them with a brush, but I don't think I will have to do that. Where's my brush? I got this brush. I'll just this. Okay, good. Unfortunate about that broken part, but it's not too bad. This one you can see has multiple screws holding it on, so this one's a little different. Let's plug this in. If it doesn't work, it's probably just the light bulb. Yeah, that one works. Good. Brush. Oh, this is Empire. I don't know really what the deal is, if General Plastics and Empire Plastics use the same molds, or if the companies joined together, or really what the deal is, because these are obviously a set. It doesn't seem like they should have been made by different companies. Some of these have stickers. Like this has a sticker here, it says S Claus on it. So that's unfortunate. That seems like a weird way to do it. This is stuff that's designed to be kept outside in the winter. So the sticker's not going to last a snowstorm or any kind of weather, unless it's a sticker you want to come off, like this barcode that's still on here after. I'm guessing these are from the 70s. Let's see. This one says General Foam Plastic, Norfolk, Virginia. Has the zip code again, I think. D791310125. So that's the mold number. No date. Some of these things can be extraordinarily valuable, especially really old ones, even if they're broken up. Like my friend texted me one day, he was at an estate sale and said, "Can you look these up for me?" And they were big, tall blow molds that were shaped like Christmas ornaments. They were probably like 4 feet tall. And they were destroyed. They were like barely holding on, just ravaged. All the plastic cracked, bad condition. But he still sold those for like $1,200, the two of them together. Did I plug this one in yet? Let's find out if it works. Okay, good. So far, 3 out of 4. Oh, this is the one that's really dusty. I won't even take these inside. I'll just take these pictures right here against this brick wall. And then I'll take some pictures right now after I get them cleaned up. And then I'll come out after the sun has... I don't want it to be totally dark, but just dark enough that you can see these lights operating. This one might need some cleaning. Looks a little better. Okay, we'll plug this one in. I think I did see some people selling. Here, this one works too. Good. I did see somebody who sold a set of these, and I think they call it like an elf village, and I think they were selling all of them together for like $600, 400 and between like 450 and 600. But I think just for the sake of shipping, I'm going to list these individually. Okay, I'm going to get pictures taken of these, leave them sit out here, and then come back in an hour or two when the sun is down, and then get them listed tonight. Okay, it's 8:30 now. I have really pretty much, except for maybe half an hour when I was eating breakfast and maybe 15 minutes when I had dinner, I think I've basically been working all day. And I have accomplished, I think, a pretty good amount. I think there are, by the time I finish those elves, right now it's 8:30 and it's not quite dark enough yet to take those pictures with the lights on. So, but I will get those finished tonight. And then that, I think, will be 35 listings today. which for me is a giant mountain. enough stuff to get finished is crazy. But while I'm waiting for the sun to go down completely, or at least mostly, I'm going to start packing up the rest of today's orders. So I did the ship this morning. That's already out into the world, so I'm hoping that arrives safe and sound. But I have, I think, 9 more orders that are going out tonight. So let's just get right to it. I have them all sitting right here. I just need to find some boxes and get them ready to go. There's nothing very complicated here, so this probably should go pretty quickly. Even though there are 9 orders, I think we'll probably get it done in like 15 or 20 minutes. Here's some drum heads. These are called Remo Renaissance Emperor, made in the USA. This is a 13-inch drum head. I was having some trouble finding. I have all these pizza boxes in different sizes specifically for shipping drum heads, and I was having trouble finding these because what I didn't show you today was when I was cleaning in the back room over here. I did spend quite a lot of time reorganizing stuff, and I put stuff in front of these boxes, so I couldn't find them just now, but they turned up, and this one is exactly the right size for these kind of drum heads. So we'll get them in here. I have all this paper I want to use up tonight if I can. This is just like tissue paper. Came in a box. I usually put enough paper in here to keep these from moving. I just put it in the corners. But whatever this is, however this works, this is how it's going to work. Whatever amount of paper this is enough. So we'll put this down, tape it up. I've shipped a lot of these drum heads in these kind of boxes. Never had one complaint yet. I have seen complaints online where people say they ordered something and it came in a pizza box, but I think in that story they mean it came in a used pizza box. That's my assumption, and I'm using these brand new, nice clean ones. These boxes have all kinds of little tabs sticking out of them. It's a little bit nicer to get rid of them. I could tape stuff better. It takes a little bit of extra time, but in the end probably makes it easier. So there's like 6 or 8 tabs sticking out for some reason. I don't know what they're there for. And then once they're gone, I can tape these edges and make it nice and tight. These drum heads some of them are pretty valuable. They were selling pretty good when I first got that, but it's been 2 years since I got these, and I still have a lot that I never even listed. I told the story many times on this channel, but I got them from a drum and bugle company that was cleaning out their storage unit. And I don't know, I'm assuming that they had a lot of donated drum heads or something, because they didn't really care. They just said, anybody wants them, come and get them. And it was super close to where I live. It was like only like a 2-minute drive. So I was the first person to show up there. And I had a little car, a Honda Fit, but I filled that thing to the brim with drum heads. I probably brought home, I don't even know, 400 drum heads, 300. I was doing a tally, trying to keep a track of how many I actually brought home and how many I had listed and how many I sold, but I lost track of it. Over time, it just got too cumbersome to keep track of it. So I don't know. I have no idea how many drum heads I actually got from them, or at this point, how many I've sold. Probably could figure that out pretty easily, but I'm not going to bother. But here's another set. I got them for free from this place. And this one, this particular pair, 2 drum heads sold for $25.50. I don't know why I wrote that on here. I need to write on here drum and a weight 1 pound 4 ounces. It's not really 1.4, but I always say it that way. 17 by 17 by 2, and these are going to someone whose initials are AC in Virginia. I'm gonna rub this tape, not wanting to stick to this box very well. So I'm burnishing it down with the edge of my marker. And then this will get out of the way right here. All right, next up, another really old item. This is actually just about, those drum heads I got in October of 2024. These are Crocs charms. You know, you go on your shoes, they're called gibbets. I got like a huge bag of these at the Goodwill. Maybe there were hundreds of these things in there. Here's this. These ones are all Toy Story characters, I think. No, this is just a mixed lot. Toy Story, Disney princesses, Muppets. Basically what I did, I got all of these for next to nothing. This set of, there's 17 of these in here, cost me 50 cents. No, 36 cents. And I divided them all up, all the Toy Story ones, and I made lots of those. Then all of the Muppets ones, I made lots of those. All the Disney princess ones, I made lots of those. And then I made a couple of lots when I got to the end, and it was just like mishmash. So there's all kinds of different stuff in here. Yeah, here's a cute Elmo. Here's a skunk of some kind. These things were selling, like, I would sell one package a day for months. And then all of a sudden they just stopped selling. So I don't know if that means they're out of fashion. You know, people don't put those things on their shoes anymore. Or if it means that the characters that I have are out of fashion. I have no idea. But I sold a lot of them. And I didn't make tons of money on them because they, you know, they're not really worth that much. But I certainly made a lot more than I paid for them. I don't know how many I have left. I'd have to do a little bit of a survey to see. But I'm just going to put them in a bubble mailer. This particular lot, I had them listed for $6.99 with I think $7.99 shipping. Could be the shipping cost is keeping people away, but that's where I'm trying to make the actual profit on these things, on the shipping. This one doesn't even weigh 1 ounce, so I have to just put 1 ounce on it. It's still probably going to cost close to $5. This is 8 by 7 by 1. I sold these for $6 with $7.99 shipping. So we'll make, I don't know, $9 maybe on these. These are going to DB in Virginia. Is that 2 in Virginia? Yeah. Next up is a t-shirt. This one, I sold this for almost nothing. This is a Menards t-shirt. Menards, the hardware store. It's brand new, still sealed in this bag. These came from a church sale, and I got it. I had 2 or 3 of them. I paid less than $1 a piece for them. This one says 86 cents. I'm just going to throw it in a poly bag here. These are pretty old too, from May of 2024. I had this listed. I mean, I've lowered the price. I think I had 3 of them. The other 2 sold a long time ago, and this one is still hanging around. So I lowered the price on this one to $5.99 at some point. Probably originally was $10.99, something like that. And then somebody today sent me an offer for $5. And I was just like, fine, let's get this out of here. You can have it. So this is on the way out for $5. But I only paid 86 cents for it. And that was 2.5 years ago. 2 years ago, almost exactly 2 years ago. It was on, I bought this on May 18th, 2024, according to my notes here. Okay, that one's done. Menards. I have kind of a mix of like really old stuff selling and new stuff. That thing only weighs 6 ounces, and this box, this envelope is 14 by 9 by 1. This is going to SW, North Dakota. That's out of the way. Next up is a pair of jeans. These are a new item. This has only been listed for a short time. I bought these on May 18th. Today is June 18th, I think. Is that what I said? No, June 14th. So less than a month. That's from the time when I bought them. They probably got listed on the 25th or the 30th or something like that. I'm not sure. I had them listed, I think $35, $34.99, $32.99. Somebody really wanted them for $20. They sent me a $20 offer. I rejected it. They sent another $20 offer, and then I rejected that. And then they sent a $25 offer, and I thought, I only paid, what? I paid $4 for these. If I sell them today for $25, then they're sold, and I don't have to worry about them again. And so they're sold for $25. These are 5.1, 5.11 tactical jeans. They are worth more than this. They should have sold for closer to 40, but whatever. 1 pound, 8 ounces. This package is 14 by 14 by 2 maybe. And they're going to AL in California. Okay, next is a book. Where'd it go? I sold several of these. This is Fourth Wing in Spanish. This is a book about people who ride dragons and have sex with each other. This book, I had a whole case of these I got for free. Spanish language book. I didn't think they would sell at all. They did. They were starting to sell. You know, I only have 3 left, and I probably started with 21 or however many would be in a case. 24, maybe 15, maybe 16. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm just putting this in a bubble mailer. It didn't sell for that much. The other ones I sold for like $8 with 5 something shipping. This one basically sold for the same amount, except I switched all my books to free shipping. So this one sold for $14.99 with free shipping. Since it's so cheap, I'm just going to put it in a bubble mailer. And I'll write on here, Fourth Wing. 1 pound 1, unfortunately, just over a pound. It is 11 by 11 by, I'll call it 2, even though it's probably less than that. And it's going to RG in Pennsylvania. Most of the rest of these went to Florida and then Texas, and probably from there on to South America or something. Some even went to Spain, but I have sold a lot of them. Right here, MX Master 3S wireless mouse. It's like a gaming mouse, Master Series by Logitech. I got this, I was at the thrift store and I saw it in somebody else's cart. Actually, they had 2 or 3 things in their cart that looked interesting to me. And then they just left their cart and went home. I saw them leave the store and they had a cart full of decent stuff. So I waited a minute to see if they were coming back, and they never came back. So I just took the stuff I wanted out of their cart, including this mouse, which I paid $5 for. I think it was selling for about 50 or 60, but unfortunately, once I got this home, it's missing some of the components. You know, it's a used item, so I can't remember exactly what was missing in there. The charging port or maybe USB dongle or something. I can't remember for sure, but I had no choice but to sell it for parts. So I had a lot of people messaging me saying, does it work? Does it work? Which I'm selling it for parts. I don't know if it works, but you should assume that it doesn't. So I sold it for $28. I think I probably had it at $29.99 and somebody sent a $28 offer. A lot of other people were selling these for parts too, so I don't know. It's a sought after mouse apparently, but if a lot of people are selling it for parts, it must break down a lot. That's my guess. I'm just gonna write on here, mouse. This weighs 14 ounces, 10 by 7 by 3. This is going to some kind of a company, PLLC in New York. So maybe it's somebody who repairs things and refurbishes them and sells them. That would be my guess. Okay, I'm missing one item. I'm gonna have to go get that. I'll be right back. Okay, I don't know why I forgot this one, but here it is. It was in there on a shelf. It is the Jaws paperback, I think from 1975. So I think this version came out just as the movie. So it has the movie poster on the front. The original book had a slightly different cover. I think this must be post-movie. It's not a special edition or anything. It's not, it's like, I think it says in here, the printing number. 9th printing. This is the 9th printing from September 1974. The 8th printing was in August, 7th printing in July. They had a 6th printing in July. 2 printings in July. You think that they would be able to catch on that this book is going to be doing well and make those printings in bigger quantities. I'm going to just put this in a bubble mailer too. It only sold for $13.99 with free shipping, so we're being frugal with our packing materials today. $13.99. It's probably going to cost as much as $5 to ship, so we're not going to make much profit on this. But I did get this book for free, so I'm not that concerned about how much profit I make on it. Jaws only weighs 7 ounces. This package is 11 by 6 by 1. I'm going to put some tape here on the ends. I don't know if this is really necessary, but I don't like when there's an opening. I get worried that there could be some hang-ups in some sorting machines at the post office or something. And this one is going to KE in Georgia. Okay, next. Just have some air conditioner remote controls. 2 of these. If you're finding remotes and you're thinking about selling remotes, look for ones like that look like something you've never seen before. Those are the ones that usually sell pretty well. These didn't sell that great, but I got these from an auction, from an online auction. I just bought a big box full of remotes, and these 2 were in there. One of them works, and one of them does not. I had them listed, and it says 1 works, 1 for parts. And somebody sent me a message that said, which one works? The blue one or the white one? There's a blue one and a white one. But if you look at the pictures that are included, picture number 1 shows this one on and that one not on. And then I also included videos of these things working, the one, showing that it works. So I don't know. I don't want to complain about buyers, so I'll just stop there. But again, just doing a bubble mailer. This is only $13. No, it's more than that. $16.79 these 2 sold for, and I paid $2 for them. Remotes. These are pretty light, only 5 ounces. And this package should be the same as the other one, 11 by 6 by 1. This is going to CF in Louisiana. I always get mixed up when I see LA as the state because I think of LA, the city. And I think, oh, this is going all the way to California, but no. Okay, I think this box is going to be too small, for the next item. So I'm going to resize this box. Right here, I have a Transformers. It's not Transformers exactly. I don't really know what this is, but it's like these companies in China do these, I don't know if they're reproductions or if they're bootlegs or really what exactly they are. But this is Megatron from the Transformers movie, I think. Maybe Beast War or something like that. I don't know. This came from a garage sale not too long ago. I picked this up in May on the 16th. So less than a month since I bought this. The guy, I don't know what the deal was with this guy. He had these things and he was offering them he had them for sale. I think he had $25 on this. And then he was like, well, you can have it for $20 if you really want it. And I bought this and several other items. And he was like, he just kept talking himself down. Like I wasn't trying to get a better deal or anything, but he kept going like lower and lower and lower. So I think I ended up paying $15 for this one, and I sold it for $120 plus shipping. I don't think it's gonna fit in this box. I don't think I'm going to be able to resize this box to fit because I need it to be this wide and this wide. It's already not wide enough for the shortest edge. So let me get some different boxes. I'll be right back. Okay, this box might be overkill, but this is a $120 item. So we'll go ahead and put it in here. And I used to get boxes like this from work, but the company that we bought stuff from that came in these boxes no longer exists. So I don't have access to these boxes anymore, which is a shame. They're, you know, good quality, good size boxes. Like they came in this size and then the exact same dimensions, only about half as tall, which was good for some VCRs and DVD player type items. But I just have this size. I just have this one left, and I'll never probably be able to get one of these again. I mean, obviously, it's just a standard size box, but I was happy to get these from work. I think I will wrap this in bubble wrap, just sort of for appearances, and then put it inside that box with a lot of paper and stuff around it. It's really too big for this bubble wrap, but we'll make it seem like it's happening. I got another one. I don't remember. Was it Optimus Prime? Or I think it was Optimus Prime. I got another one from this same company, this same line of faux Transformers. It's called Model Series. I think there are some of these companies that are like technically bootlegs, but somehow sanctioned, and they make a really, really high value, high quality models of Transformers. But this company, I couldn't get any information about it, so I guess it's not quite as high value. But $100 ain't nothing. I'll take it. Okay, so here we go, wrapped up nicely, and then we're going to just fill this thing up with all of this paper that's sitting here. So part of what I was doing today was organizing boxes. I've been bringing home more and more boxes, and just they're all different sizes, and it's hard to store them. It's one of the reasons why I like to use new boxes, even though there is a lot of expense to those boxes. So I got some of those boxes organized today in the other room, but I still have a long way to go. Okay. All right, that's it. I'm gonna have to find more. I think there's more paper out there, so I'll be right back. All right, this looks crazy, but this was a big banner for an event that I printed at work, and now that event is over, so I just took it down and brought it home, and I'll use this paper. I mean, the other option is just to throw it in the garbage, so might as well reuse it and recycle it. It's a little bit heavier than the newsprint I usually use, so I guess that's probably better, heavier weight paper. I had the whole piece in there, like it was still a big full-size banner. It's probably like 6 feet long, and I just tore it up this afternoon so that I could easily use it for this. Not trying to squeeze 72 inches of linear feet of paper into this box. I could just do it a little piece at a time. Here's a really little piece. I don't know if there's room in here for all of this, but maybe. There we go. All right, close this. I hope that's not like, you know, somebody opens it up and they're offended to find a box full of garbage, but it is just paper. Okay, this is a huge box. I did not expect to put this thing in a box this big, but it is probably the appropriate size box for that thing. Probably undercharged on shipping, but that's all right. I've got good profit on this. I see people selling this silent tape, but I like the noise of this tape. Lets me know I'm working. Okay, there's a big label on this side, so I'm gonna cover this up with, I have these labels that I ordered by accident, and I have a lot of them, so I might as well use them up for this sort of a thing. Somebody told me it was a waste of labels, but I ordered the wrong size. What am I gonna do? Throw them in the garbage? No, I'll use them for this. Okay, Megatron, this guy, it's gonna weigh kind of a lot, 5 pounds. Almost 4 pounds. He is 20 by what? 214. That's not right. I guess there's a reason why I never use the measurement on this side of this cutting mat, because it doesn't make any sense. It starts with 11, then it goes to 10, 9, 8, 7, 8 again, 4, 3, then 210, 111. I don't understand it. So I'll just turn this. And this side is 15, and this side is 10. So 20 by 15 by 10, that must be some mathematical formula. I guess it's a basic formula, -5 each time. Who's this going to? JCR in Oregon. Oh, that's a long distance. Okay, that's everything. I don't know how long that was, but it probably was 25 minutes. Okay, now I'm gonna buy these shipping labels and come back and tell you exactly how much each of these items earned. We'll go over Friday's profits, Saturday's profits, and Sunday's profits. So each of those days will have its own total. But right now, I think it's dark enough. I'm going to go take pictures of those blow molds, and then I will finish this up and then come back and run down these profits. All right, all of these packages are ready. They're all going USPS, so I will put them on the porch tomorrow morning for my carrier. I've already requested pickup, so I have not missed that. And then I'm just looking at this, and I realized that I had no sales today, and no orders today at all, which is surprising because it seems like sales have been picking up the last few days. So what's going on here? I had 8 sales. I had 8 sales on Friday, 5 sales on Saturday, and then I just realized that there were no sales today. So I have nothing to report as far as profits for today, but let's go to Friday and Saturday. All right, we'll go over each of these items one at a time, and then I'll give you the full breakdown on how much money they made. Some of these things you saw this morning, I showed you this morning, and maybe you saw the price on them. I can't remember, but let's talk about them again. Weight Watchers Point Plus calculator earned $4.45. These are all sales from Friday. The ceramic barn owl from West Germany, Gerbil, $18.84 profit. The 2 Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, and Eeyore coffee mugs, $30 even. I do remember telling you about that. Then onto the stuff we just packaged. The lot of 2 Remo Renaissance drum heads, $22.67 profit. The model ship that we shipped out earlier today, first thing I worked on this morning. Let's go through the whole string here. I paid $11 for it, sold it for $199.99. The buyer paid me $63.45 for shipping. The actual shipping was $85.66. eBay fees, $35.71. So we're left with a profit of $131.07. Now, is that worth it for the amount of effort I put into that packaging and for the stress of whether that package is going to arrive safely or not? I guess it is. I was hoping to get closer to 200 on that, maybe like 165 or 180, but 131 is fine. It's not nothing. I'm happy to have a single sale that brings in $130, since we would have to do a lot of Crocs gibbets, which only earn $6.11 to meet that profit, $131. I don't know how many, but quite a few. 12, 15. The Menards t-shirt also sold yesterday for $4.27 profit, and those 5.11 tactical jeans earned $16.08. So yesterday, all 8 sales earned a total profit of $233.49. Maybe, let's see, when was the last time we were over $200? Okay, earlier this month on the 3rd, we earned $307 one day. The next day, 0, sold nothing. So it's going to be, if we don't sell anything tonight, there's going to be 2 days this month where we have sold nothing at all, which is a day without any sales has not happened in probably 3 or 4 years. No, probably 2 or 3 years. So that would be surprising to have another day this month with no sales. Okay, anyway, on to yesterday's sales. The Fourth Wing Spanish book earned $7.93. The Logitech mouse with the missing parts, $20.07. Peter Benchley's Jaws paperback book, $7.04 profit. The 2 Frigidaire air conditioner remotes, $13.45. And then finally, this Transformers. This is another one where the shipping, probably because I put it in this huge box, was over quite a bit over how much I charged the buyer. So in this case, let's go over this one. I paid $15 for this figure, sold it for $119.99. The buyer was charged $14.41, and the actual shipping was $24.93. So we lost $10 and then some on the shipping. Then the eBay fees were $15.76, and we ended up with a total profit of $78.71. So I have another one of these, the Optimus Prime. I'm gonna have to make sure that I have a slightly smaller box for that one, because this box being 20 by 15 by 10 put it into the oversized category, and we don't want that. I mean, once you go oversized, I think they charge you, it used to be $4 extra surcharge, but it might be more now. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's it for tonight. I was planning on going over the listing processes today. You know, now that I got everything, all of my drafts bank cleared out, I was going to start doing some more drafts, and I was going to take you along with me on that. But it's already pretty late. We've been working on this for over 12 hours today, and I think I will go and work on some listings myself, but I'm not going to take you with me. So I'm sure you've had enough of me anyway, but thank you for watching. I think this is probably going to be a pretty long video, so if you stuck it out this long, I really appreciate it. I'm doing this pretty much, I was doing a video every day of the week, but I've been less stringent on that lately, so I'm trying to do a video every day. So if you enjoy this kind of stuff, seeing what the actual work of running an eBay business is, for me anyway, then make sure to subscribe. All right, see you again very soon.